All right, here's the video that I promised everybody. We have finished building the basic structure of our beds. And now I'm gonna take everybody on a tour through the greenhouse. This is my mom's entryway. We have two doors in the greenhouse. This greenhouse is 42 feet in diameter. It stands about 18 and a half feet tall at the apex. It has a pond inside that holds 3,200 gallons of water. So when you walk through the door, there's the option to go left or right. We are still under construction to a degree, so we still do have some stuff in here that's in the way, but I'll take you on a tour through here and show you all the stuff we have growing. The inside space is pretty massive. It's got lots of overhead space, which is perfect for trees, and we have quite a few trees growing in here. This bed that's directly to the right when you walk in has lettuces in the bottom, and on this trellis here we have a bunch of snow peas. This white structure is our first worm bed, or worm tower. It's not really the greatest one to show you because of the cords and stuff in the way, so I'll show you a different one of those. We do still have a few things that haven't been planted yet, so that's why you see random pots hanging around. On this side, there's a short bed. Nothing much is planted in this yet. The flower there is a Gerber daisy and another worm tower. I've got a pot that has a few garlic chives, but we haven't decided where we're going to plant those yet. This bed here, with a lot of perlite in it, has an Awari mandarin, and it's pretty new. I need to trellis it. We just planted it a couple days ago. Over in this corner, it's kind of our utility corner with shelving and a whole lot of crap right now. It's got tons of stuff on it. Eventually we'll have this more organized. It'll be our station for fertilizers and all that sort of thing with grow lights, and it'll be a seed starting area. Coming around the corner, this is the pond. It's covered in a bunch of floating mats. Most of these are from packing material. I work in a laboratory and I snagged a lot of these from work. The reason we have these on here is because we don't have a lot of plants yet, and so we needed to cover the surface of the water a lot so that we didn't have a lot of algae grow. And I don't know if you can see into the water with the phone or not. Yeah, you can, kind of. It's got a bit of a film on top, but the water in the pond is actually super clear. You can see all the way down to the bottom. There's a bit of a film on the bottom from the ditch water that we used to fill it up. But it's very clear, and I'm happy for that because it means we don't have a lot of algae. It's been sitting this way for 6 weeks, I think. We do not have any fish in here yet, but we do have a few plants. I also have a few plants sitting on top. They're taking advantage of the relative temperature that kind of stays the same around the pond. We have some random things that haven't been planted yet. We're watching. This plant right here is a bush of a friend of ours. That's a monstera. The plant that has this plant here is a pawpaw tree. I'm going to be repotting it and putting it in that pot. Before I get too far, on this side we have our first banana bed. This bed is about 5 feet long and 36 inches wide, and the bananas hopefully will be very happy in the bed. They like to spread from the roots, and so we made those beds large, that way they have plenty of space to spread. Next we have an avocado tree, and then next to the avocado, the shorter bushier looking plant is a plumeria. We have another banana tree, and then on the end here, this is a tea bush. It's looking a bit ragged. Ever since I got it, it hasn't really been doing very well. It's dropped loads of leaves. However, it's blooming, so I don't know. Then over here, this little tree against the side of the pond is a soursop, and we're overwintering a few of our plants from outside. The next two are Russian sage. There is a little avocado tree here in the center that actually a seed that sprouted from my aunt's compost pile, And then the plant on the far left is a cutting that I took off of our red hibiscus plant that belongs to my mom actually, but we're overwintering it for her. The little waterfall that's on the pond is solar operated. This is a little utility storage area for chairs. We have water from like city water, ditch water, and electric. That's where that all comes in. This sink is our potting bench, and it has the city water hooked up to it. That way we can wash off veggies and whatnot. We have a beverage fridge and a little coffee station over here. And then in this bed, we have some pineapples. This baby pineapple here has just barely gotten started. Sorry for the board up the front. This is our jury-rigged locking setup for our fan, because the fan doesn't like to stay closed when the wind blows. There's a kale plant. My husband has a beautiful tall marigold. And then we have a couple other pineapple plants and a couple pathetic looking spinach plants that I planted a bunch of them, but we had a whole bunch of a whole bunch of bugs take over and eat a lot of them. So this is a worm tower. It's made with a coupler on the top for the lid, and then a piece of PVC pipe. There we go, get it to focus. Piece of PVC pipe, 1 inch, that is hammered down in there in between with some window screening in between. And then we just alternate plant material and paper, and we put some water in there. The worms are in here, and there are holes at the bottom. I think I have an example right here of a tower that's not buried. So we put a bunch of holes in the bottom like this, and the worms can come and go. It gets planted so that all the holes are buried, and then that's what you end up with. This one is a little bit different. The first one I showed you was made with Schedule 40 PVC. This one is made with the sewer pipe, I believe it's called. And they have a lid that's much easier to do. It comes this way. I don't know why my phone doesn't want to focus. And then on the inside, we put some screening and we just hot glued it to size. So that way the smaller bugs can't get through there, but you can still water it without taking the lid off. So this will get planted. We have it sitting over here because it's going to go into bed. That's a coffee filter that's going to go in the worm bed. So we have a fig tree here that is an LSU purple. We have some humidity domes that have carrot seeds underneath them. And then we come to our door. This is the entrance for my husband and I. On the other side of the dome, this is our nice little ponytail palm. Stands about 7 feet tall now. And then when you come through our door, we have kind of a central entryway that is funky shaped. This bed here, we call it the backbone, the one with the banana trees. And we call this bed, this center bed, and that bed over there, the teeth. And so we walk through here. This will be our seating area. It enables us to kind of add some chairs in the front along here, and it's adjustable for if we get more people in here. These two chairs are kind of a permanent setup where there will always be seating for a couple of people. The pots that are here with soil are probably going to be moved, and we can put a fire ring right there. This bed will be for a pomegranate. This tree is the red hibiscus tree that I mentioned earlier that I had taken a cutting off of. And then we have some blueberries over in this bed. They are not looking so hot. I'm not sure if I can keep them alive. I've got all the appropriate stuff on them, and they just want to die, so I don't know. We don't typically grow blueberries very well in this climate, so we'll see what happens. So coming back to my mom's door, if you turn to the left instead of going to the right, this is where you would go. It's the bed that goes all the way around the outside back over to our door. In this close bed here, we have this is turmeric. All of these are turmeric. And then These are ginger. They're looking a little bit ratty. I had them crammed into some pots. They had to be there for quite a while before we could get them into beds. Inside, in the center, that is a blood orange tree. This bed has a bunch of different lilies in them. Some of them are supposed to be like a giant lily. They're all starting to go into dormancy though, so that's why they look kind of haggard. On the other side, on this bed, we've got some sage growing there. We have a bunch of carrots right here. This is a little butterfly bush. It's supposed to be a small butterfly bush. It's pink, more carrots, a really pretty Thanksgiving cactus, probably Thanksgiving. I took this as a cutting last year. I had 4 leaves when I took it as a cutting, and it's done beautifully. I'm pretty impressed with it. We have a gorgeous aloe vera plant. This thing we got from Lowe's. It was looking so sad. They had it in the most inappropriately sized pot, so we brought it home and saved it. The tomatoes that we have, one of them looks a little bit ratty. You may not have noticed it, it's right there. The other one's looking gorgeous, has blossoms on it. We took these from the garden in the fall. I think it was early September. We actually took a cutting off of a main stem that was starting to send out aerial roots, and we planted that cutting horizontally. We actually did 2 cuttings. This cutting that looks amazing, this is one cutting and it's got 2 plants coming up. Anyway, it's doing awesome, looks really cool. And then this, we have a bunch of amaryllis growing in here. One of them is currently blooming. It's kind of a funky looking amaryllis. Can't really see very well. It's kind of hard to focus on it because the flowers are so like skinny looking, but that's, I don't remember what variety it is. Over here we have a few bunching onions. The ones that are looking better are leeks. These 2 rows right here are both leeks. And then a little rosemary plant. We have some cauliflower plants growing from seed, and a small sad looking little lavender that I'm not sure is going to survive, but hopefully it will. If it does, we're planning on making lavender lemonade. And then I kind of forgot these other beds, so let me turn around. Back over here we have a key lime tree, and below it we have a basil plant. This is lemon verbena. I don't know if you guys have ever grown this, but you totally should. It smells amazing. And then that plant is oregano. In this bed we've got some galangal root. That's what these are. We have a couple marijuana plants. It is legal in our state. And we have some really sad looking strawberries that I'm pretty sure are gonna die. I think they're infected with spider mites. This is one of our Meyer lemon trees, and it needs some fertilizer for sure, but we have lots of little baby lemons. I'm pretty sure it's gonna drop quite a few of them because it has way more than the plant can sustain, but it's doing well even though it needs fertilizer. My phone is so annoying with its focus. Under these humidity domes, we have some baby starts of broccoli plants. Across the way, in this bed that looks like nothing is in it, we actually have loads of garlic that was planted about a week and a half ago, and they're starting to come up, but it's kind of hard to see them. So, and then this last bed over here has some bell pepper plants that we took out of the garden. We trimmed them back vigorously because they were loaded with aphids, and I sprayed back the aphids, so they're doing better. They do have a bunch of little buds starting on them. In between them, there's a lot of garlic planted, and then the tree that's in here is our second Meyer lemon tree. We really like Meyer lemons, if you can't tell. Anyway, so that is our garden inside our dome, and hopefully in about 2 years, we will have loads of stuff in here. When we're fully done creating this greenhouse, we will also have a bunch of trellises. We're gonna add some grapes, we will have a lot of shade from the trellises and some things that are changed seasonally in order to take advantage of solar gain, to create shade for other things, and so on and so forth. The reason that we have a pond in here is because in the wintertime, the angle of the sun comes in more horizontally. You probably can't tell in the video, but the angle of the sun is coming in this way, and it hits the front side of the pond. The pond is black so that it can absorb as much energy from the sun as possible. It heats up the water. The tank is pretty large, and it helps to regulate the temperature in here at night. We are using heat currently because we have a lot of plants that are new, they're not established. We do have some tropical plants in here, and so we're trying to keep our dome above freezing at night. We've been getting into the lower teens so far, and we've been running the propane on medium for the last, I don't know, week or something. Our dome has gotten down to 34 degrees with the tropicals in here, and so far they're just fine. They haven't shown any kind of stress. So I think that tropicals may be a little bit more hardy than some people think. I haven't seen any kind of cold distress from any of them, and that's a good thing because I really want some soursop and some bananas. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed our video, and when we do trellises and whatnot, perhaps I'll do another update.